Hey guys, welcome back to the SAGA channel. Not so long ago we published an article, how much do scuba instructors make? Now that's a very controversial topic, right? There's a lot of discussion, how much do scuba instructors make, how much should scuba instructors make? So I went out, I did a little research and came up with some real numbers. So real scuba instructors in different parts of the world and how much do they make? Now, disclaimer guys, and also full disclosure, these are all or like 99% are graduates, right, from the SAGA instructor network. So obviously we do instructor training and we do have a pretty good job placement program, but that also means that it's maybe a little bit one-sided information, right? So you know, we do high quality training, we don't do free internships, we don't do you know, work for your training and stuff like that. So that the flip side is that everybody who trained with us, they paid for it, and then they obviously they kind of expect to find you know, a decent job, right? So not only do I have some details here kind of worldwide, but also the information on the average local salary outside of scuba diving. So that could maybe create like a little bit of like a context, right? Because you know, obviously if you're scuba diving in, let's say, California, you're gonna need to make a little bit more than if you're teaching scuba in maybe like a, you know, a developing nation or something like that, right? So yeah, let's get started here. So first we have Europe, right? And I've got three figures for Europe. So the first one being in Greece, right? In Greece, we've got an instructor here with a fixed monthly salary of 1,100 euros a month, which, you know, currently is about $1,230. Obviously, guys, these exchange rates may fluctuate depending on when you're watching this video, right? But then there's accommodation included, and there's part meals as well, and there's apparently a lot of tips there. So seeing as the average monthly salary in Greece as of right now, 2019, is 1,060 euros a month, so that's 1,190 US. You know, that's pretty much on the mark, even a little bit above, right? So that's pretty good. Then we have you know, a friend of mine working in Mallorca in Spain. They have, there's brackets, right, depending on seniority. They make between 1,300 and 1,500 euros a month. So that's, you know, 1,300, let's say on the low end, is about 1,460 US right now. With an average monthly salary in Spain of 1,318 euros, which is 1,480 USD right now. Important side note, this person works in Mallorca, which is definitely one of the more expensive areas of Spain. So, you know, again, this is all relative, right? And then lastly in Europe here, guys, we have Malta, the island nation of Malta. So staying in the Mediterranean there, that's where it's good, right? And we can expect to make around 1,200 euros a month, which is about 1,340, 1,350 US. But that's a base salary. So then there's a extra commission per day and per night dive, and on top of that a 10% commission for every customer that's generated by that particular instructor, right? So average monthly salary in Malta is 1,550 euros, so 1,740 US. So yeah, again there, guys, maybe a little bit below the mark here. Obviously Malta is one of the maybe like the richer island nations, or at least attracts a lot of, like, you know, of that more affluent clientele. But you know, personally, I'd say it seems like for Europe, you know, obviously we have lots of regulations and whatnot there, so we're pretty much on the mark. Asia and Australia. So the numbers that I have here for Indonesia, right, guys? What did I gather for Indonesia? I really got wide brackets here, so you know, maybe not the best information, but between 10 million and 25 million rupee, which is you know, again, pretty broad, between 700 and 1700 US. And that's on Bali specifically, right? Again, depends a little bit on what your role is, what you do, and on the season, right? Very, very seasonal there as well. You know, side note is of course that if you're teaching in these countries, specifically Indonesia, you know, you do have your work permit, for instance, if you're not Indonesian, right? You gotta cough that up as well. Staying in Australasia, what do we have here? So we have Western Australia, right? Western Australia, you would have to read the article. I'm gonna link it below, right? It's very, very detailed, but we came to about a salary of about 3,200 Australian dollars or 2250 US. Again, right now, guys, 2019, those conversion rates, with the average monthly salary in Western Australia being more like 5,200 Australian dollars or 3,700 US. So a little bit below there. Below the average, although specifically here in Exmouth, Western Australia, probably the cost of living is a bit lower than, let's say, if we were in Perth or whatnot. So, you know, context, guys, very important. And then we go to the Americas, right? In the Americas, we have a couple of figures here. So one I have is for Curacao, right? The island nation of Curacao, the Dutch Antilles. We've got two people here, right? So we've got one making about 1470 US, and that's for a 5-day work week, which if you are a scuba instructor, you know that's actually a pretty okay deal, working 5 days a week, right? And it comes with health insurance, this one. So I mean, I think that's a big one, because obviously if you're working abroad and such and you need to take care of your own health insurance, that's an extra cost you have, which in this case they don't. The other instructor that I've interviewed makes 1,100 US a month, with about 100 to 500 US a month in tips. So depending on the you know, on the season. So let's say that we average that to like 300, right? That's the average. Then we get to 1,400 US, right? Very strange, surprising to me is that in Curacao, apparently the average monthly salary is 3,400 US, right? I didn't see that coming. I didn't expect that. So yeah, that's all relative again. I will say that again, one of those, they had accommodation included. So if your rent, you know, is already taken care of, that does make a big difference. Other one here, we got Little Corn, Nicaragua. So lots of turmoil in Nicaragua right now, guys. But what we're looking at here is, you know, $3.50 per fun dive, $25 for a Discover Scuba, $60 for an open water student, $50 for an advanced student. So they average to about 1,000, 1,100 a month. And I do need to, and this, you know, we're getting in developing nations territory here, guys. The average monthly salary in Nicaragua is $370 per month. So again, I mean, I often hear people complaining, right, that the scuba salaries aren't high enough, but everything is context, right? If you know, how much can you expect to make in a country where the average salary is $370? And then we are in the US, and that's our last one here, guys. United States, Jacksonville Beach, Florida. This specific person works as an independent contractor, and she earns $100 US per student, and she works through a dive shop with a 3% commission on gear sales. So she's averaging out at 2,200 US per month ish, right? And that's from Thursday to Sunday, so that's part-time only. The average monthly salary in Florida is 4,250-ish US dollars. So that's about half that, but as I said, guys, this is like a part-time involvement, right? So actually it's not too far off. She actually combines this with other work, right? So there you go. We covered a little bit Australia, a little bit of Asia, a little bit of Europe and the Americas. Obviously, it's impossible to make a complete list. These numbers, you know, there's huge variations between individuals, right? That being said, though, I would love to hear your comments. I'm imagining people are very opinionated on this topic, right? We did make a video not so long ago about how to increase your SCUBA instructor income. I'll link that right here, and I'll put a link below as well. Because, you know, again, if you're not happy with your situation, maybe there's stuff you can do to change that, right? And yeah, guys, subscribe to the channel, please. If you like the video, give it a like. Maybe you can click the bell button after you subscribe so you get notifications. That'd be pretty cool. We try to make content like this regularly, just to, you know, support scuba professionals out there and trying to make good decisions and trying to increase the quality as much as we can. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you found it interesting, and I'll see you next time.